The human brain is an extraordinary machine. Billions of neurons, countless connections, and thousands of pieces of information processed every second. Yet, this seemingly flawless system can sometimes deceive us. And most of the time, we don't even realize it. Could it be that what we perceive as reality is actually just an interpretation constructed by our mind? Let's start with visual perception. Have you ever looked at a still image and thought it was moving? Or been surprised to find out that two areas you thought were different colors were actually the same? This is the result of the brain's prediction mechanism. Instead of analyzing every piece of information coming from the outside world, the brain often relies on predictions. It fills in the gaps and completes the image. It fills in the blanks and sometimes even presents something unreal as if it were real. And what about memory? We tend to believe we remember the past exactly as it happened, but in reality, every time we recall a memory, it's like rewriting it. The brain fills in the missing pieces based on its own narrative. An event we experienced in childhood might have happened in a completely different way than how we remember it today. But we believe it as it is because the mind prefers consistency over accuracy. It seeks coherence, not truth. Our perception is also selective. Once something catches your attention, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. A new book, a number, a word. It's as if the world is responding to you the moment you notice it. What's really happening is that your brain simply starts showing you more of what you're already paying attention to. Everything else gets filtered out, almost as if it's being erased. This means the world holds far more than we realize, but we only perceive as much as we focus on. Our mind doesn't like gaps. If something is incomplete, it immediately tries to fill in the blanks. When we overhear just a part of a conversation between two people, we automatically fill in the rest ourselves. Why did they say that? Were they talking about me? These aren't conscious analyses. The brain fills in those gaps automatically. The problem is, these mental completions are often biased and emotional. When we make a mistake, we immediately try to justify it with logic. Why did this happen? Because I was thinking this way. Or we say, I'm not a bad person, it's just that the situation called for it. This is what we call cognitive dissonance. The mind doesn't like living with internal contradictions. So when our actions clash with our beliefs, it either adjusts the belief or reinterprets the behavior to restore balance. In a group setting, our thoughts can shift even more. The presence of others can reshape what we believe, what we say, and even what we remember. A mind that craves social acceptance often reshapes its own opinions to match those of the majority. Even though we like to think of ourselves as independent individuals, how free are we really under the influence of the crowd? Maybe some of the ideas we believe in aren't truly ours. Maybe we've adopted them just to fit in. And sometimes the brain turns the spotlight on us. We might feel like everyone is watching, judging, or evaluating us even when they're not. The truth is, most people are too busy with their own lives to focus on us, but the mind still wants to see itself at the center. This creates anxiety and often leads us to misinterpret situations. How we remember an experience is also fascinating. We don't usually recall the entire event, we remember the most intense emotion and how it ended. That's why a single bad moment can make an entire vacation feel disappointing, and why a brief but wonderful moment can make an entire experience seem amazing. The mind focuses not on the details, but on peak moments and how things end. All these examples show us one thing. The brain acts as if it's logical, but it's actually driven by evolutionary instincts. It uses many shortcuts to make quick decisions, survive, and build social connections. These mental shortcuts often serve us well, but just as often, they mislead us. So, what can we do? First and foremost, it's crucial to become aware of these tendencies in our own brain. Knowing that what we take as reality might just be an interpretation is the first step toward questioning our perceptions. Not everything we think is true. Not every memory reflects what actually happened. And this awareness, that's what opens the door to mental freedom. In conclusion, the brain is both our greatest strength and our biggest source of deception. Getting to know it, recognizing its tricks, questioning our inner voice, and instead of blindly believing everything we hear, taking a step back to observe. Perhaps this is where the greatest enlightenment begins. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.